Okay, class, Mrs. C needs your attention again. You guys did an awesome job acting out the elements of art and the principles of design. We have another group activity, so stay in your groups. We are going to go over the four-step process of the critique. We are doing something called a jigsaw activity, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. The reason we do this is in visual arts, we have a few content standards, and today we are employing the conventions of art criticism through writing and speaking. So guess what? We're going to be writing and speaking about our art critique process. We also want to develop your English language skills, always. And so we are working on standards 1, 6, and 12. Standard 1, we're going to be exchanging ideas orally, talking amongst our groups using academic topics, and today it's going to be our critical language. We are also reading closely a text. We're going to have sample criticisms that we're going to analyze and figure out which step of the process it's in. Then we're also going to be selecting and using our specific vocabulary for critiques. So fasten your seatbelts. We talked about a critic and what critiques are. We also talked about etiquette. We reviewed our elements of art, but I want to remind you guys, this is our critique language. These are the tools that we use in art, so we're going to be talking about those elements. Make sure you have that worksheet with you. You should also have your worksheet with your groups that are the principles of design. So these are also used in our critique language, and this is how those tools, how those elements are being used in the art. So keep that in mind. Now, our last worksheet you have is the four-step critique, and this is what we're going to be going over very carefully, one by one, each of the 4 steps, because you're going to be looking for clue words when we do our critique, our jigsaw. Each of you will get, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You get in your packets, we took a sample critique, and each of you will get your very own paragraph. You're going to be looking through it, reading it carefully, looking for clue words to determine what step of the critique process it belongs to, and you're going to write that number right on the top. So the first step is to describe the art. We are focused on the elements and the subject, and you just want to talk about what you see. So when I say subject, what do I mean? Like the subject matter. Can anyone tell me what that means?
What the art is about.
Yes, we're talking about what it's about, what we see. And when we're talking about elements, keep that in mind. Here's an example. I know you guys know The Starry Night by Van Gogh. So what is the subject matter of this piece? Can anyone tell me?
A starry landscape.
It is. It's a starry nighttime landscape. Very good. And the questions you have on your sheet, what do you see there?
What do I see?
Yeah. So you're going to describe, very factual. What do you see? So is this a time where we're going to be using our opinions?
No.
Okay, you're right. We're going to use our facts, our factual language more than our opinions. So when you're looking at your paragraph, if it's describing the colors and shapes, those are elements, and it's just factual and just describing, what step of the process do you think that would be?
Number 1.
That's right. Good job. Number 1, the first step, describing. Number 2 is analyzing. So we are going to look at the composition and design. Now when I say design and what we see is being used, what does that remind us of, class?
The principles of design.
That's right. Here are where the principles come into play. We're going to be talking how those elements are used. How are the lines used? How are the shapes being used? So for example, movement is a principle. The lines create movement in this piece. So if you see that written in your paragraph, what number would you write on the top of your piece?
2.
That's right. 2 for analyze. So you want to really be looking for those type of clue words. The third step is to interpret. So here's where you get to have an opinion, finally. You're looking for the meaning and the content and what's going on in the art. So if you're talking about, if your paragraph says what how this makes me feel, and what's most important about this piece, then what number are you going to write on the top?
3.
That's right. And the final piece is to decide or evaluate the skill and the technique. Again, you get to have an opinion. Was this successful? Did you like what they did? That kind of thing. So if you're seeing those clue words that you're circling, what number would you write on the top of this piece?
4.
That's right. Okay, good job, guys. So I think it's time for us to jigsaw. You're all going to have your packets where you have your own paragraph. You start off working individually. Everyone gets their own. You're going to read very carefully. Make sure you highlight, circle those clue words. Write what number of the critique step is on the top. And then you're going to discuss amongst your group. See if anyone has any other ideas, if it should be another number or not. Make sure you get the correct step number on it. Then you put your paragraphs in order. You have glue sticks. You have colored paper. You guys are going to put it together. Then you're going to call over Mrs. C. You're going to show and tell me, and we'll see how you did. So, any questions? Okay, have fun.